Hi, how is everybody? Today we're talking about how on earth I study for 80 plus hours a week without burning out. The vast majority of what I'll talk about in this video can apply to a variety of people in different fields and programs, or basically anyone that is really busy or has a lot of material to cram into their brains. On average, I spend 12 to 14 hours, 6 days a week studying. And a lot of people ask, like, how on earth me or anyone else in med school for that matter does this? But it's actually fairly manageable now that I've learned a few things about how the brain works and developed some solid time management strategies as well, which I will share. So let's get rolling. Let's start talking about this. So first reason I'm able to study 80 plus hours a week and not burn out is I've learned how I actually learn. That sounds really stupid. I found out how I actually learn best or most efficiently. Most of you probably know that there are 4 major learning styles that most people fit into in one way or another. Some people are hands-on, tactile, also known as kinesthetic learners. Others are read-write lizards. Others are read-write wizards. Good God, you say that 10 times fast. Can't do it. Or you can be an auditory or visual learner. The visual learning style is the same as spatial learning. So in undergrad, I found out that I was a mix of auditory and visual/spatial. Basically, if I can draw it out or imagine it in my head, put it together in my mind, then I will never forget it. One way to maybe know if you're an auditory learner is if you're a big podcast junkie. On the other hand, if you can't understand OChem without one of those cute little models that you put together to make all the molecules and see all the interactions that way, that might be a heads up that you are a tactile kinesthetic style learner. If you've pretty much always done well in school just by reading the textbooks and writing the essays, consider yourself lucky because most traditional educational structures are geared towards that style, reading and writing. So if you're a pre-med, if you're a med student, or if you're literally anyone else for that matter, trying to learn anything, if you don't already know your learning styles, because you can be a combination, then it's time to do some real soul searching and figure it out. Because if you're a tactile learner trying to force yourself to read the textbooks and write the essays, you're not going to learn very efficiently. It's just not going to work well for you, and you're going to be really frustrated when things go in one ear out the other despite you putting in so much effort trying to learn this stuff. Now, extending that to med school, inefficiency in studying in med school is not compatible with life. It's you cannot go through med school being a really inefficient learner. You have so much material to cram into your brain on any given day. It's a process to learn how you learn best. So I always recommend to anyone going into a demanding career field or educational program, definitely figure out your learning style and what's efficient for you and how your brain wires things and connects all the dots and all the information. It is in your best interest to figure this out now so you don't waste time and feel like you accomplished stuff, because feeling accomplished and efficient is key to staying positive and mentally stable when you're trying to shove as much information into your brain as possible in a very short time frame. So the next thing that really helps me be able to study well, study a lot, but not burn out is using mnemonics. I know it sounds stupid, and people will say, oh yeah, mnemonics are great. No, mnemonics are king. They are. The stupider. Oh my gosh, English. The more stupid, dirty, or outrageous the mnemonic is, the better, because the more it sticks in your brain. So an example that I can think of off the top of my head that is family friendly is for the essential amino acids. And it goes, my very tall, handsome friend is watering rotten kale leaves. So that translates to my M-methionine, very V-valine, tall T-threonine, handsome H, histidine, F, friend, phenylalanine, is I, isoleucine, watering, W, tryptophan, rotten, R, arginine, kale, K, lysine, rotten leaves, L, leucine. Ding, 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 ding. All the essential amino acids. Most are not this tame. Like I said, the more outrageous or dirty or just plain stupid they are, the better they stick in your head. Honestly, I don't know how people learn anything without mnemonics in med school. blows my mind. The next thing that helps me study a ton without burning out and dying is getting an early start. And I know you're like, I'm a night owl. Like, I don't do mornings. Yeah, that was me. That was me until literally last year. Why? Because I read something that was interesting and I gave it a shot and it works. Listen to this. There is some research out there that says in the morning, we tend to be better, our brains in general, better at declarative memory, which means our ability to recall exact details like names, places, dates, and facts is better in the morning. However, in the afternoon, our brain is better at semantic memory tasks, which means basically we are better at integrating new information into information that we already knew. So for students like me, that looks like this. In the morning, I do new lectures, all that new information, bring it on. And then in the afternoon, I Anki and try to integrate all of that information into the rest of my knowledge base about that subject. Also, do practice questions. Practice questions in the afternoon. It helps if you are working with what your brain is already wired to kind of do. This is not an absolute thing. Like, this probably does not work for 100% of people, but I gave it a shot and it has worked really well for me. So I will always stand by it and I will always recommend it to people as an awesome way to study long and productively. Now notice that I said in the beginning of the video that I study like 12 to 14 hours a day, like 6 days a week. I don't know, maybe a couple of you are asking, why not every day just like 10 hours instead? Well, number one, because I just don't hate myself that much yet. I don't want to study every day like that. But really, it's about having a day to look forward to actually relax and get other stuff done that has needed to get done. Just like housework and, those random emails and catching up with friends and stuff that's important, but often gets pushed off if you're really busy. And I also try to do like normal people things, like most importantly, watering my plants. So having this day to look forward to is really essential for your brain's reward system. It's a super powerful thing, this reward system. If you know that every day you're going to study 10 plus hours, full stop, and you don't give yourself really any breaks, your focus deteriorates over time. And this is subconscious at first. It may look like inefficiency. That's what happens to me sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've read the same paragraph like 9 times. Inefficiency. Your brain's already getting kind of tired. Then, if it gets worse, it might be more conscious. You might decide like, oh yeah, like I need a quick break, and then you go and dive down a Twitter rabbit hole for 2 hours. Guilty. I generally take Sundays off for the most part. But sometimes it's like Wednesday and I wake up and I'm just like, I do not feel like doing anything today school related. I would rather eat through a straw for the rest of my life than study right now. And that's fine. Take the day, like listen to yourself. And I actually talked about this in my week in the life of a med student video, which I will link to up there. But it's really important to take those breaks when you feel like it. If you try to just punch through, you're not going to be efficient. You're going to end up frustrated. Your learning is not going to stick. At least that's how it's happened for me. And so I will always recommend breaks. Listen to your brain, listen to yourself, and take the breaks when you need them. Come back to studying later, maybe if I'm feeling better, and up to it. And that way you keep yourself happier, you're less frustrated, and you stay efficient with your time, which is so important. Sometimes it's good to have some mental fortitude and like power through when you don't feel like doing something. But if there's a real block there, sometimes your brain and your body are like, please give me a break. Please, I need it. And just take it. Listen to yourself. That's all. And to piggyback off that last point, I need to mention my recent rediscovery of the Pomodoro Method. 25 minutes on, 5 off. Every 2 hours, you get a 15-minute long break. Most of you have probably heard about this method. For people that do a lot of flashcard studying, looking at you on kings and on queens, I use the Pomodoro Method to get through absolutely ungodly amounts of flashcards. Thousands a day. You're just going through doing that spaced repetition and recall, which really helps me retain information. So one of the reasons the Pomodoro Method works so well is because it also plays into the reward system of your brain. And the reason this is because like if I know that I'm going to be doing flashcards for the next 25 minutes and then I get a 5-minute break, my brain is like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go get all these done. Let's see if we can get 150 cards done in these 25 minutes. And if I do, then I get some chocolate. Yes, my brain is all for that. Like, give me some chocolate. And I feel like I earned it. Like, I got this reward and I like feel accomplished for doing that. And then if I hit that 150, I get pumped. I am the on queen, give me a crown. And you just feel awesome because I hit a goal in that short time period. In a weird way, your brain gets kind of hooked on this. And then it's like, all right, let's go. Next one. And next 25-minute work period. And then that 5-minute break, you're like, yes. And then you get another reward for it. You're basically hacking your brain's reward system for your benefit and efficiency in studying, which is awesome. And it feels awesome, which helps prevent burnout because you feel awesome. It's hard to feel burned out when you feel great and feel efficient. And so for me, I end up being like crazy productive when I get into the Pomodoro flow. Normally, I forget to drink water or move around or stretch during the day like I should if I'm studying for a long time. But if I'm on the Pomodoro grind and I get those breaks on a regular basis, I have this perfect excuse to get up and stretch, get the water, bathroom break, whatever. And that also helps me stay sharp and focused during the work time periods. Again, this is not by any means a one-size-fits-all strategy, but it works like real actual magic for me and for a lot of people and students that I know. So I will always recommend it to people who are struggling with efficiency and productivity. And lastly, definitely a major factor in avoiding burnout is taking care of yourself mentally and physically, meaning exercise enough, sleep enough, eat well, on top of all the tips that we talked about in this video. And this whole bigger topic of physical wellness, that's huge. We could leave that for a whole series of other videos. So I won't go into depth on this, but just know that it is absolutely key. I would be remiss if I did not mention this as an absolutely crucial part of being able to study and be productive for a long time and not burn out. And that's what I have for you guys today as far as how I study 80 plus hours a week and avoid burnout. So if you found this video helpful, leave a like down below. And while you're over there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So this information can help other people maybe study better and learn more efficiently. Thanks so much to all of you who have already subscribed. Love you all so much. Thank you for watching and hope to catch you next week.